sometimes.
So what's in them? Is there raisins in them?
Yes, we've got currants.
For the Brexit secretary today, the tough negotiations were mostly with a hot griddle. But the man who's said to want to have his cake and eat it regarding an EU deal has at least now offered to pay for it, telling one Labour MP this morning Britain could keep shelling out to maintain free trade.
Will the government consider making any contribution in any shape or form for access to the single market?
The major criterion here is that we get the best possible access for goods and services to the European market. And if that is included in what he's talking about, then of course we would consider it.
Which isn't exactly the promise written on the side of this campaign bus during the referendum, or pledged by the Leave camp on board.
We'll take back control of the £350 million that we send to the European Union every week.
But is the Brexit secretary prepared to break that pledge?
He was part of a campaign that made clear promises to the public that £350 million a week could be saved and paid to the NHS. Now we find that he's saying some of that money, at least, may have to be paid into market access.
It's calculated that in 2014 the UK paid £14.4 billion in membership fees to the EU. If we were to leave but stay in the single market, we might still have to pay, and perhaps not a lot less. For example, Norway's access to the single market costs them around £740 million a year. Per head, that's around 2/3 of what the UK pays. Tonight, Downing Street is standing by the Brexit Secretary's comments here in the Commons, arguing it only makes sense for the government to keep its options open while it tries to get the best deal for Britain. But it is difficult to see how this particular option would satisfy anyone on either side of the Brexit debate.
The United Kingdom sends £350 million of tax.
In fact, some Brexiteers are just as loathed to break this promise.
If it was to happen, of course, people would be very, very cross about it. But it isn't going to happen. So as much as the media want to make it that way, it isn't going to happen.
But David Davis still doesn't know quite how Brexit is going to turn out. And this wouldn't be the first flip of a campaign promise. Paul Brandt, News at 10, Westminster.